Well, from rotten mattresses to cockroaches and rodents, the workers at Green Challenge Waste Management deal with a wide variety of junk every day. The company is based in Vancouver's Downtown Eastside and deals specifically with cleanup in that area. That's because the issue of hoarding is a prevalent one in the neighborhood. Today, the company is having a formal launch with its supporters, and for more on this, we're joined by two people this morning. Dylan Goggs, the founder of the company, and Sarah Boyd, supervisor of hoarding cleanup. Good morning and welcome to Studio 10.
Thank you very much for having us.
Dylan, what separates the business you do from other garbage removal companies?
Well, we're essentially part of a society called Simpson Community Services Society, and the business is the social employment division of Simpson Society. And what sets us apart is that we are a social enterprise, and so we hire people who have barriers to employment. We give them training and a job, basically, from the neighborhood, but not just from the Downtown Eastside. We have Sarah, who's here this morning, who's from the North Shore, like myself. But essentially, we hire some marginalized people. Yeah, that's the model.
And what made you want to focus on the issue of hoarding in the Downtown Eastside?
Well, hoarding, it was more of a... It wasn't by a great big design, basically. We just served the need. We essentially started to try and introduce recycling in some of the rooming houses and garbage removal. And what we discovered that time and time again, the pattern was people sometimes who may be close to being evicted or have left a property or the room needs cleaning out. Essentially, they're hoarders. Some people may have referred to them as binners or, whatever. But we realized quickly that we're dealing with compulsive hoarding here.
Sarah, how did you get involved?
Well, I know Dylan. We met early on, about 3 years ago, through church, and then more recently through my boyfriend's tattoo studio. And I just offered to start helping with the hoarding. He was talking about it, and I actually grew up in what some might consider squalor. But I always sort of was on the other side of it, and just I was constantly throwing stuff away whenever my parents would go out. And so when I ran into him, I thought it would be really a nice thing to get into because, I just wanted to help, basically. And I really believe in the mission, too, behind the society.
Dylan, what challenges do you come across while on your cleanup missions?
Well, the person who's suffering from compulsive hoarding essentially has a mental health condition. And so what we learned through working with other professionals, health professionals, and particularly Don Collett, who is a compulsive hoarding specialist, he taught us really to have compassion. And not that we didn't have compassion, but things that we may perhaps don't understand and think obviously needs to be thrown out. So that individual is one of the most precious items in the world. And so you have to be compassionate, non-judgmental. And when you're inside somebody's house, regardless of what that state looks like, you're in their home. And so we're respectful of that, even if their standards may appear strange to us. And so, the challenges are every single item that needs to go is very precious. So you've got to do that carefully with professionals or more often than not, unfortunately for us, we come in at the point of crisis where the landlord, a family member, or a society that's housing somebody has to get this cleaned up because it's compromising the rest of the building. Yeah.
Sarah, what's this experience been like for you?
Well, initially it was overwhelming, but now it's pretty straightforward for me, and I've done quite a bit of reading. Like I said, because I grew up in that, I do have compassion. I'm trying to go in non-judgmentally. It's pretty fulfilling to go in and help and come out, and like it's a completely different space than when you walked in. Dealing with a billion cockroaches for the first time was pretty interesting, but I worked through it, and I can handle pretty much anything now.
But Dylan, your staff does tend to work with some very vulnerable people.
That's right.
How do you address the problem of hoarding and waste removal in the least disruptive manner possible? I mean, in other words, as you said, this is their home, and to many people, these are their cherished possessions.
That's right. Well, working with the City of Vancouver, some of the property inspectors, They have a very, it's very simple. If it's hazardous waste, and what that means by hazardous waste, if it's been compromised by rodents, if rodents are present, if it's got urine or feces, essentially you're taking the risk that there could be a hantavirus which is present. And so we cannot risk our employees. And WorkSafe BC clearly has a guideline how to deal with this. And so we have to fulfill that. So unfortunately, often we have to use either the building manager or the city of Vancouver as the bad guy, which kind of helps us because we need to have our trust with the individual. So more often than not, that we have to treat it for the hantavirus. And so there's a 3-step procedure we use. We spray it down, we clean the whole place up, and we use a deodorizer. But the first part of the treatment's essential.
But compulsive hoarding is recognized as a psychological problem. So how do you prepare the people you work with? And Sarah, how do you prepare yourself to deal with people who are struggling with this problem?
Well, for me at this point, the most important thing, if the hoarder themselves is present, is to have a professional there that knows how to deal with the client, and I would just keep referring them back to the support worker. I know it's a sensitive situation. I myself am not trained to deal with the emotion specifically around it. I have compassion, and I understand that they see value in absolutely everything from, a paper clip. It's hard to distinguish with this disorder between your mother's wedding ring and a paper clip, the value. And sometimes, not sometimes, all the time, it's my job to just refer them back to the person who's trained to deal with them. And ideally, that person would be there if the client is on site. We would have a professional there to deal with them and give them support.
So tell us what's happening today, Dylan.
Today we're launching our business 2 years on, which is kind of strange. I realize that, but we're launching the society and the business. So we're between 12 and 1 o'clock down at the Dodson Conference Centre. We've got some benevolent business people coming to look at what we're doing. They're coming to look at our business model, not just as a social employment program, but as a profitable company. And we've also got the City of Vancouver, City of North Van, District of North Van, a couple of other municipalities are interested. So we're doing a launch, and we're going to do a presentation, and we're going to celebrate that from ground zero 2 years ago. We've got a company now which has employed 6 people and is doing really well. So, yeah, we're pleased and very proud.
Best of luck with this.
Thank
Great.
you very much.
Yeah, thanks so much.
And thank you for sharing your story with us this morning.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having us.
Sarah Boyd, Supervisor of Hoarding Cleanup with Green Challenge Waste Management, and Dylan Goggs, of course, is the company's owner. And for more information on the launch, we have a link on our website. So go to our website, cbc.ca/early edition. If you want to attend the launch, you want to know more about the Green Challenge Waste Management Company, you can find it there.